What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Lords of War hobby channel video where we like to talk about all the fun products and techniques and everything that makes up our wonderful hobby.
And when we talk about a product, we sell lots of those.
Do we? Is that what happens? Is that why we're doing this?
We're like selling out of Payne's Gray and
Woo!
special brushes and
Yeah.
brush soap.
As a longtime viewer of ours kindly pointed out, he called it the Lords of War starter package, which I thought it was pretty hilarious.
Funny,
So today I wanted to talk about something that Jay and I have been using much more frequently recently. It's not a new product, but it's I want to say it's newer than some of the other ones on the market. And I use it all the time, and it's the Airbrush Medium from Army Painter.
It's Army Painter.
So what this is, it's kind of very self-explanatory. Look at that, it says it right there. This is a blend. It's a blended product. So a lot of companies sell a thinner and a flow improver and a cleaner, and you're kind of left to your own devices to mix those things, use what you want. So just to quickly preface this, because I get this question probably all the time when I'm telling people what they need to buy. People are like, what's a thinner and what's a flow improver? Why would I use either one? The best way I kind of describe it is thinner is your main cutting agent. So it's like, think of it as the medium of your paint. I know ignore the title of this thing because it's going to confuse you. So paint is made out of pigment and medium, and then the medium is the binder. It holds it all together. Airbrush thinner is the binder for your airbrush paint. So as you thin it down, it keeps it bound together and not breaking up and kind of like separated. So,
which is why when people are like, can't I just use water? And you're like, no.
Yes.
I mean, yes,
but God, no.
But don't do it.
Please don't do it. It'll be breaking on you constantly. And flow improver is essentially how it sounds. It improves the flow of your spray. So it acts as almost like a mild retarder for the paint to go through your airbrush, so it doesn't dry so quickly. So one thing you'll notice if you don't use flow improver is you get dry tip on the end of your airbrush. You might have more clogging issues and stuff like that. This just kind of makes it kind of run a bit smoother. So generally when you're, what we've taught people over the years is thinner should be the majority of what you use. So if I'm cutting, like, for example, just a standard bog trog off the rack AK paints or a Vallejo or something in that range, my general starting point is about 50-50 thinner and paint. That changes a little bit if the color gets really light as you approach white. So like a color like even light earth, which has got a lot of white pigment in it, I might go 60-40 or something like that. But that's my starting point is 50-50, and I go from there. And flow improver, I will add about 5 to 10% to my mix. So like if I'm, let's just say 10 parts of paint, 10 parts of thinner, I'm maybe adding like 2 parts of flow improver. That's kind of where I've always kind of been. Am I that exact when I'm actually doing it? No, but the way I'm always on the more thinning side of less exact, if that makes sense. So if I'm going to be Chris's cooking mode where I'm not like carefully measuring everything, I'm always over thinning as opposed to under thinning. That's kind of like my philosophy is like if I'm going to be a bit reckless with the counting, I will be reckless on the side of it being more thin than more thick. So back to the whole point of the video, why do we like this so much? Well, let's let Jay talk for a second because he was using it before I was. So. Just like with everything.
Like everything.
What was I
going to say? I mean, you explained a lot. No, I don't know. What happens is over time, you kind of, here's the kind of sort of problem. Up until this product really showed up, we had a lot of this thing where people would be like, oh, I have Vallejo, because we'd sell a lot of Vallejo, thinner, flow improver, and so forth. Or we've got like the Tamiya one. There's like a Tamiya X28 or I forget what it's called. That's like a more
X20A.
20A. That one is more of like has more alcohol in it or whatever it's got in it. It's also deadlier.
Much deadlier.
And everything in between. And like AK has ones, and people are like trying to like, what happens is you can't often just like they will sort of work, but sometimes it won't. Like I know for certain that like sometimes like the the X20A works really well with Citadel paint for whatever reason. It's something about it. You might use your Vallejo thinner or something else, and you get a little more clogging. It gets a little gummier. I don't know, the way it thins it just it doesn't work. And these are situations where I tell people, I'm like, best practice would be to try and pair the paint that you're spraying with whatever thinner they provide you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I usually get like better results that way. But for whatever, anyway, once this came out, and maybe because it's like pre-mixed, so they've probably already thought about this, what the ratios should be, and they wanted to make something that's like brain dead, easy to use, smooth brain. Sorry, is a better word to use. And I found that it just seems to work with almost every paint, not just Army Painter paint. It seems to work well with their own paints, with the Citadel paints, with Vallejos, with AKs. So this is why you got to try things. You got to open them, and stuff comes in, and you got to give it a go and see what happens. I wish I could give you a more scientific thing. You can see on the back here, they try and give you some tips. They even say at the bottom, test.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I actually find their instructions to be like, I don't follow this at all.
Right.
Because this basically says like 1 drop to 1 to 2 paint, and
sure.
I find the war paints to be quite thick actually, the Fanatic range. So
here's another like small thing, and everyone has their own workflow.
Yeah.
I kind of think like when I teach people from the beginning, I like to mix all these paints and thinners in a separate little container, like a little dish or metal thing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to explain to people to like develop that like ability to judge by eye. Like, is this too thin or too thick?
That's a great point.
Like we said, it's a little more like cooking. You're kind of a little adding and sure, like once you know what you're doing, a lot of people mix it right directly in the bowl. Sure, if you're like been doing it a long time, you can kind of just like eyeball it and figure it out. But to start, really do that, and you can then look and see if there's any like a debris in there. You can tip the thing over and see how runny it is. I use the end of my paintbrush handle, and I'll dip it and see if it's just dripping off or not. And these are small things you can then test out. But this kudos to Army Painter is a really good product. And now I can just confidently like hand it off to anyone. It's one less jar you have to think about, and you're among the ones you have at home with your airbrush kit. You buy that in a jar of cleaner, and that's it now. Don't worry, your Vallejo ones are still good and useful. I just this came along, and
I think they're actually also a bit more cost effective too. Like if you're going to buy a bigger container of the Vallejo and the bigger container of the Flow-Aid, like you can make the argument that it's a bit more economical to mix them separately.
This for sure.
This is more costly per liter.
Yeah, we saw this is $11 for
what is it, a 60 mil?
No, I think
100?
it's 100.
That's their 100 mil jars.
It's 100 mils,
yeah. And I think the Vallejo ones are 200s for 16, 17 bucks or whatever.
16, one's 14.
So it is cheaper.
So you're getting 400 mils
yeah.
of liquid in the Vallejo front for like under 30 bucks. So here's this, it's obviously a lot more. So, but yeah, it's a great product.
But I mean, it works. Like,
it works.
And you know, I'm a big fan of convenience, honestly. Like, anytime I can find something that saves me a bit of time in my process and works just as well or not better, I'll usually adopt those practices, even if it's a couple bucks more money, you know, or whatever. It's just kind of like, well.
I mean, let's throw it a different way. Let's say because the only like negative to this thing is they don't sell like a liter of it or something like that, or 32 ounces. So you can, but you know, let's say you roll it and you buy two. You know, it's like whatever, $22, $23. Like that's plenty. Like you're adding a few drops at a time. Like you better be airbrushing a ton to really burn through that at a.
So I will point out one bit, like one time I won't use this product because I think you can make the case that it's not meant for the situation. So I actually don't use this with airbrush paints. Oh. And I actually think that they mean back here. These are their air paints. Yeah. So because they have their own range of air paints,
which is why they say
which makes a lot more sense, right? Yeah. The reason I mean, you could use this with air paints still. It would probably work okay. I would rather control my Flow-Aid a bit more in that situation because, like, for context, airbrush paints have a lot of airbrush thinner in them already. Yeah. This is majority airbrush thinner and it has a bit of Flow-Aid. So I usually just use straight Flow-Aid with my my air paints.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be the one case where I might not use this, and I might just prefer the flow aid on its own, or having them separate. But I mean, that's a personal choice. I think I said you can get away with this still, but that's just me being a bit nitpicky and fidgety with my hobby. But hey, that's you know, that's what we're here for. We're here to tell you all the little details about using this stuff for years and years and years.
Yep.
So hopefully you got something out of that video. If you're getting low on your airbrush thinner, maybe give this a try next time for and see if it's something you like. Yeah, let us know in the comments below what you use, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.